welcome back to another episode of Jeremy's Point of View. Here in this episode, I want to do something a little bit different, a little bit fun with you guys today, and that is I wanted to go over some of my favorite 90s and 2000s snack treats, beverages, things of that nature that have since been discontinued. Me and my wife were actually looking at some stuff this morning. We kind of stumbled upon some items that we hadn't thought of or even remembered in over a decade, and once we kind of went down that molehill, so to speak, we started Google searching, going through and looking at all these things from our past. I couldn't believe so many of these items no longer exist. I couldn't believe I forgot about so many of these items, and at the same time, some of them I really truly miss. So I thought I would make you guys a list of my top 5 favorite items from the 90s and 2000s that was discontinued. I do want to let you guys know this list is in no particular order. 5 to 1. I love all of these in different ways. They all have different memories, different things that I remember about them and enjoyed about them at different times in my life. So in no particular order, let's go ahead and we'll start the list here. So at number 1, we've got the fantastic Butterfinger BBs. And I'm actually going to roll another item into this spot with the Butterfinger BBs, and I'll explain that in a second, and you'll see why. But first off, let's tackle the Butterfinger BBs. I can't believe these things have been discontinued. Like, they were an absolutely fantastic snack from what I remember, and in today's day and age, you would think something that comes in a nice, quick, easy pack with poppable bites that you can eat on the go, you would think this would be such a big hit, especially in today's society where we're all going fast, all grabbing something on the go. You would think these kind of snacks, these kind of chocolates would be such a big hit. And from what I remember, Butterfinger BBs were a massive hit. I always preferred them over a Butterfinger bar. Now, I like the taste of the Butterfinger bar, but getting all that stuck in my teeth, I found out the Butterfinger BBs were not quite as bad at, resulting in having to scrape the Butterfinger out of my teeth afterwards. So, doing some research and stuff, I really can't honestly understand why they were gotten rid of. From what I could tell, sales were always good with this item, and the only reasoning I could find online for it was that they had a low melting point, and a lot of times the bags or the candy inside would melt and make a mess when people would eat it, and that was kind of the only complaint I could find. I believe these were discontinued in the 2000s, 2008. I might be wrong on that, but let's go ahead and we'll dive to the second part of this item here. So Poppables was the first, or Butterfingers was the first, so I just gave away the second. The second was Poppables. Now, Poppables, there was Milky Ways, Snickers, and Three Musketeers. And then on the other side, Reese's had their own called the Reeses Bites. And I remember these things. These things were absolutely fantastic. They ran from about 2000 to 2008, and I would eat these things in the bag load. And I can't really find a reasoning why these were discontinued either. And in today's day and age, once again, I think this is the kind of snack that should make a comeback. I think a lot of people would dig into these. Maybe they were before their time ultimately, but I think an item like the Poppables, like the Butterfinger BBs, is something that a lot of people would enjoy, and I feel like in some ways the candy companies don't take the risks on new products, new ideas, in the same ways that they used to. Some still do. I think Reese's over the last couple of years has made a lot of strides in introducing new Reese products and giving us new varieties and things of that nature. I feel like Doritos used to make a lot more, took a lot more chances with their items than they do nowadays. But man, these Poppables were fantastic. The Three Musketeers, the Milky Way. I wasn't a big Snickers person. And then the Reese's versions of them, they were fantastic. I could eat an entire bag in one sitting. So that was my number 5 spot. Now, my number 4 item is going to be one that I don't know if it quite holds up in the long run, but I'll see if you guys remember this item. This was the fantastic Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtle pies. If you guys remember this, please comment in the comment section below and let me know what you guys remember about this, because this was an item that came out when I was much, much younger, and I only have the fondest memories of it. I don't remember what it tasted like. I just remember my mom used to buy me these things, and I used to eat them. She'd send them to me with me for lunch, and I absolutely loved them. And I kind of loved anything Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles back then, so I don't know where you could go wrong. But if any of you guys really remember what this tasted like, I kind of remember, I think the filling being like, I think it actually says it's a vanilla pudding power or something, but I could have sworn the filling was green, if I'm remembering it correctly. But man, I used to remember these, and I used to remember what is also going to be my number 3 spot on this list. Kind of goes hand in hand with the turtle pies, and that's going to be Ecto Cooler. I used to drink this stuff in boatloads at lunchtime, in school, in elementary school, and everything else like that. I absolutely loved Ecto Cooler. And I do know in the last few years and over the years that this has been an item that has gotten some reissues. There has been a chance to get in on the nostalgia of Ecto Cooler. Again, I know not too long ago, I don't know if it was with the 2016 Ghostbusters reimagining, they really released the Ecto Cooler, and I know a buddy of mine actually has a few cans of it, which he won't share with me, but that's okay. I can totally understand why. This was just such a fantastic drink. I know it was just basically a basic orange flavor, but as a kid, it had Slimer on it. I used to have the Ghostbusters house with the slime and man, I loved Ghostbusters back then. Ghostbusters, Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles, those were my jams. And when it came to these two items, the Ecto Cooler and those Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtle pudding pies, they would be in my lunch numerous days of the week. So that's my number 3 item here on the list. And now, my number 2 item on the list is going to be something I'm sure a lot of you guys remember, and that is the fantastic Jello Pudding Pops. These things used to be in everybody's freezer aisle, and me and my family used to live off of these, man, for dessert in the summer times. Me, my brother, my sister, I absolutely loved pudding pops. And it's actually something I've done some looking recently at the stores, and you really can't find a lot of pudding pops anymore, at least not frozen, already made pudding pops in your freezer aisle at the store anymore. These were the best of the bunch. My family used to get, the generic fudgesicles. I believe there's some different generic pudding pops, but the Jello pudding pops were the bomb, the best thing to have in the summertime as a kid, and I absolutely miss these things. My notes here tell me these things were discontinued somewhere in the early to mid 90s. Since then, there is an actual Jello pudding pop making kit you can actually buy. Comes with the container. You can put the Jello mix in and stir it all, and then fill up the what's the thing called, the pie mold, or the Jello molds for the pops. Stick them in your freezer and make them, and they are still pretty damn good. But in my eyes, even after doing those with my kids a few months back, nothing tops these Jello pudding pops that used to be in all of our freezer aisles. Come on, Jello, let's bring this thing back, okay? And number 1 on my list is actually an item from the 2000s. And this was a favorite of mine, and it's actually a little bit different than everything else on my list. It's a soda item. And it was one that I absolutely loved, enjoyed, and it was very, very short-lived. So I don't know if a lot of you guys are going to remember this one, but this was the fantastic Dr. Pepper Berries and Cream. What a fantastic item. I am not a Dr. Pepper's fan at all. I don't drink Dr. Pepper. I do like their cream soda one. That one's pretty solid. It's actually the closest thing I've been able to find in all the years since they put this item out that kind of comes close to it. But man, the berries and cream was the best item Dr. Pepper ever released, hands down. And I guess the sales just didn't do it for this item when they did release it that one summer. But I bought this in caseloads from my local Walmart, and I just remember it was delicious. It had that Dr. Pepper flavor, but it had this extra burst of berries, vanilla cream. It was just like this perfect balance of fruity vanilla flavor with that already genuine Dr. Pepper taste. I also am a huge fan of Pepsi vanilla Coke. This item just kind of fit right in that, and it gave it that fruity vanilla sweetness, and I absolutely love it, and I wish Dr. Pepper would bring this item back. I have spent years searching for Dr. Pepper Berries and Cream, seeing if anybody had any out there, because I would love to get my hands on it, because I can almost still taste it. As the years go by, I feel like I probably don't remember it quite like it was, but I absolutely loved this item. It was one of my favorites, and that is why it is on my top 5 list. So obviously, guys, this is not the definitive list. There are so many other items out there, but I figured I would kind of narrow it down to the 5 that really stuck out to me, the 5 that I really enjoyed growing up as a kid. And you guys let me know. Share with me, what was your guys' favorite item growing up in the 90s and 2000s? List the item below. I don't know, maybe it's something I don't remember and you guys can refresh my memory. I know another item that I absolutely loved was an actual item from McDonald's called the Arch Deluxe. It was a fantastic burger they used to have. I remember the McWraps. I used to eat those things every day. I know that wasn't good for me, but I used to do it. So please, you guys, let me know in the comment section below, what was your favorite item from the 90s, 2000s, from any generation that has since been discontinued and you wish would come back. Let me know. Please subscribe to the channel, and I'll see you guys on the next episode of Jeremy's Point of View. Until next time, peace.